Hello, welcome to the Vico Office tutorial series. My name is Levi Froelich. Today we'll be talking about importing a model from Revit and then using the Takeoff Manager to adjust the model. Step is to open up the Vico Office Suite. Click New Project. Enter the name of the project. And hit Enter. You can see that the project is activated and ready to be worked on because the green light is lit. The next stage is to define the settings of the project. It is very important to define the settings at this stage, otherwise it becomes very difficult to deal with it later. Ensure that your systems are correct. You're in metric, meter, square meter, and cubic meter. Step is to open up the model in Revit. This tutorial series uses the cottage, which can be downloaded off the Moodle site. Click Add-ins, hit External Tools, and choose Publish to Vico Office. Choose the correct project to export your model to, and hit Publish. Once the export has been completed, return to Vico Office and hit right-click and hit Takeoff Manager and choose Model Register. Here we can see that the model has been exported from Revit, but nothing appears on the 3D window. Therefore, the model must be activated. To activate the model, right-click on the name and hit Change Activation Options. This list gives you all the different element geometry information that you can import from Revit. For our purposes, choose Family and Family Type. In the event that you have MEP, you must also choose element geometry for that. However, in our case, in the cottage, there is no MEP, so it is not necessary. And choose OK. Right-click again and hit Activate Selected. Depending on your computer speed and the complexity of the model, this may take a few minutes. Here you can see that the model has been imported, although it is zoomed in too much. To zoom out, click on the window and roll back the roller button on the mouse, just like in Revit. To move the model around, click the hand and click. To rotate the model, hit the planet-looking button, choose a point of rotation, press down Control, and then click. That your model disappears from the screen, you may click this button, and the model will return to the center of the window. We have now successfully imported our model to Revit, from Revit to Vico. The next stage is to deal with the Takeoff Manager, and we will hit Takeoff Model. Here we can see our material takeoff. These are all the elements that have been imported with geometry from Revit to Vico. By clicking on an element, it highlights that element in the 3D model. By clicking on the plus sign, gives us a list of all of the different element geometries that were imported from Revit. And just like in Excel, you can double click and change anything that you would like. Here we see some errors. The first thing to do when you notice an error is right click and hit isolate. This will show you where that element is in the 3D model. Since nothing appears, it is clear that there was some mistake, and for our purposes, we can delete this element from our takeoff by hitting delete. Here we see that with the railings, there's also an error because the length and the piece lengths were not incorporated from Revit to Vico. However, before we deal with that error, one other thing we can do is given that the railings are very similar in type, we can assign them together as one element. To do this, we must use the painting mode. Highlight the element you would like to reassign, right-click, and hit isolate. Then click the painting mode, hover over the element until it becomes white and click. To reassign that element, hit the filtering pane, click show only unassigned and click apply. To reassign that element, highlight the element, the type that you would like to reassign it to, choose the painting mode again, and then highlight and click. Now this element has been reassigned to railing 900. We can delete the railing 450 from the takeoff. To deal with the error in element geometry, we can go back to Revit and manually determine the correct element geometry. In our case, it's about 52 meters. To re-show the 3D model, go back to the filter, click show all, and hit apply. In this tutorial, we imported a model from Revit, and we used the Takeoff Manager to adjust the model.